$700 for two GoPro Hero 5s taped together. The GoPro Fusion. What's up everybody, I'm the Everyday Dad, and if I can figure it out, you can figure it out. I have a love-hate relationship with GoPros. I want to love them so bad. Let's see if the new GoPro Hero Fusion is the first time since the GoPro Hero 4 line that GoPros and I have actually gotten along. Let's crack it open. Inside the box, you'll get the Fusion inside of a protective case, which honestly is a fantastic idea that I didn't really appreciate at first, but the more I use it, the more it's growing on me. You'll also get the normal amount of paperwork, the charger, and a few mounts. But the most unique thing inside the box is the new GoPro Fusion selfie stick. This thing is really awesome. You can see the grooves in it actually make it invisible when you're using it to hold it up. It does all the normal selfie stick stuff, and it doubles as a tripod. This thing is, I'm really a big fan of this selfie stick. Honestly, the packaging is great, and the included accessories are pretty good. And I normally deride GoPro for charging so much for the cameras and including almost nothing inside of the box. The Fusion itself feels great, I mean just like all GoPros, and it is waterproof, rated down to 5 meters. On the top, you'll find 3 microphones, and on the side, you'll find the USB-C charging transfer port and the on-off button. On the other side, you'll find the battery compartment. The Fusion thinks pretty highly of itself, so highly in fact that it takes 2 SD cards instead of the normal one. Now, this is to record each camera to its own SD card to stitch it together later, but it is kind of a big hassle to deal with 2 cards. On the main sides, you'll find the camera themselves, the LCD data screen, the record button, and other assorted microphones. With all these microphones, the audio should be pretty good, and one of the neat features is you can do 3D audio if you're doing a 3-dimensional recording. Now, the most important specs for the average user for the Fusion are it can do 5.2K resolution for 70 minutes, or you can record at 3K resolution for 80 minutes. Like I said earlier, it is waterproof to 5 meters. It takes 18 megapixel spherical photos. It has the standard GoPro voice controls, which I'm not a big fan of, but it does have them. And like I said, the microphones are arrayed in such a way that the Fusion is capable of doing 3D VR audio. And if that doesn't sound like the future, I don't know what does. Now, 360 cameras are nothing new. In fact, there are a range of 360 capable cameras out there right now, so it is a pretty crowded playing field. When it comes to the GoPro Fusion, the camera is only half of the equation. GoPro is stating that their proprietary overcapture software will redefine how cameras work in the future, and honestly, if they can pull it off, this system will be groundbreaking. Overcapture is where you take a 360-degree spherical picture or video and pull a full 1080 stream out of it. Theoretically, this should mean that you only need to film once and you'll be able to do the panning of the camera to pick your framing and shots afterwards, which sounds incredible. The overcapture feature is literally the only reason I really wanted to try out the Fusion. That sounds like such an awesome idea that it could turn into the only action camera I use. Does it really work though? Well, not really, and we'll talk about that here in just a second. Now that we've talked about all of its specs, let's head out and give it a shot. And now we're at some serious flaws when it comes to the Fusion. Overcapture today, in early December of 2017, does not work like GoPro advertises it's going to work. The app should be out sometime in 2018, but it doesn't exist right now, and the only way to really use overcapture like it's advertised is to use a special Adobe Premiere Pro plugin to move the footage by keyframing it in post. Now I use Final Cut Pro, I don't have Adobe Premiere, so we're not gonna be able to see that today, unfortunately, which is kind of disappointing. Now I can't fault GoPro too much. It does say on their website the app's coming out in 2018. It does say you can do things with Adobe Premiere, but it doesn't say that it only works with Adobe Premiere, and that's the frustrating part. Is I would prefer it if GoPro would say on their website, hey, it only works with Adobe Premiere. If you're using Sony Vegas, if you're using Final Cut Pro, if you're using all these other editing software, it will only work with Adobe Premiere. So keep that in mind when you're buying it. So for comparison, this footage is from a regular action camera and gimbal, which both together are less than half the cost of a Fusion. Now, in my mind, action cameras are supposed to be fun, easy to use cameras that you can use to capture your home action or your fun action, but it's also going to be easy to handle in post. The Fusion is neither. It's big and unwieldy, the footage takes forever to render. The 3 clips that I used in this video took 2 days to render when recording at the lowest setting and then rendering at the lowest setting. It's just too expensive to be in the reach of the average person filming their ATV ride, filming their mountain bike ride, filming their motorcycle ride. To quote Casey Neistat from a video of his a week or two ago, I don't understand who this camera is for. So in all fairness, GoPro does have a 30-day no questions asked return policy, so I'm not angry at GoPro because I'll be able to return it. I'm just disappointed that I won't be able to get what I wanted out of this camera, and I really was excited about this camera. So what, right? So should you get a GoPro Fusion? No, you should not get a GoPro Fusion. If you want an action camera, there are cheaper action cameras out there. Heck, I've got a whole bunch of videos right here about cheap action cameras that you can get, and they're actually pretty good. And if you want a 360 camera, there are other options out there for less price, and ones that do some similar features, just like the Insta360 I haven't had a chance to review that one, but it does a lot of the same features at almost half the cost. So like the Hero 6 before it is a great camera. However, it's incredibly overpriced for the market today, and I can't honestly recommend it to anybody. Seriously, I swear like I've dogged on every GoPro that's come out in the last year and a half, and I don't want to be that way. I love GoPro as a company. I love that they were able to carve out their own niche, and they have made it their own. And if they can fix the rendering issues and they can release that app for the overcapture, I will probably come back to the Fusion, because I think that will be a game changer in the action world. It seriously will be great. But tomorrow, this one's going back. What action or 360 camera is your favorite? Leave that in the comment below. I just love action cameras, and I'd like to know what everybody else is using. Also, click that subscribe button down below. We do tech reviews every Wednesday at 12 p.m. Eastern. Well, hey, I'm the Everyday Dad, and if I can figure out the 360 cameras and the GoPro Fusion is not quite there yet, you can figure it out. Thanks for watching.